Hey, tactical 40K. It's been a little bit since I've done anything because a lot of things have been going on, but I got news today, or was it yesterday I got this in. So we've been waiting. I've been talking about my list the last few times and how it's taken me forever, seems like. So we got a little here or something. And it has. I finally got my Vanguard vets at least tournament ready. They're not fully painted. We've started on my Inceptors. They're on their way. And then I got my Reaver Lieutenant. He's primed. Just got to start painting him as well. And then I got a couple additions. So I went ahead and I bought a Vindicaar Assassin. And he's primed as well. And because I was checking out the new Warhammer store in my area, and I just couldn't help it. I just went and bought one and bought some basing stuff. But that's not what we're here to really talk about yet. We can talk about that later in future videos, what I'm going to utilize some of those for. Oh, before we get to the actual thing that I got here in my lap right now, I noticed that yesterday the website for 40K went down or has been pulled for a new website because I wanted to go over some basic rules, some of the rules myself, just to brush up because this new store, I was like, man, I'm get at least, they do 500-point games, 1,000, 1,500 point, 2,000. So even if I didn't have 2,000 points ready, I'll run up there, start, kind of experimenting with some of my lists, or at least partials of my list, But I went to go brush up on that stuff, and they pulled the little videos they had down, and they pulled the whole thing down. So that leads us to the rumors that 10th edition may be coming out sooner rather than later. So that might throw another wrench in what I'm trying to do, building a Raven Guard army that's going to be somewhat competitive. But it also means that maybe they'll be good in the new edition. You never know. So we'll see what happens. Either way, we're building this out because I'm already this far committed into it, and they're fun. I kind of like I said, I like the lore. Hopefully that none of that stuff really changes from the actual game, but we'll see. So the rumors are, 10th edition may be right here, or who knows what will happen. I guess we'll find out tonight, because actually when I'm recording this tonight, I guess they're going to reveal whatever the heck they're doing. Because it's Adepticon or whatever. Anyway, let's get to this. So this is what I've been waiting for. I've talked about this when they released it. I've talked about this, getting it, and it just hasn't happened. I just haven't got it. And finally, I went ahead and ordered one of these. And it's going to fill out a majority of my list that I have. It's going to be very Raven Guard-ish. It's kind of keeping with some of the lore, but then also being able to utilize these units in an effective manner to hopefully win some games. But here it is. Bam, son. The actual Strike Force, Raven Strike Battle Force, whatever it is, the box. 17 miniatures. We look on the back. Here it is, the whole shebang. You got your Eliminators, your Invictor Tactical War Suit, or suits, basically actual physical guys in somewhat like Dreadnought thingies. You got your Reavers, 10 of those dudes. You got your Shrike and a Librarian. Now here's what I'm going to do. Here's the unique thing. I already had Shrike, right? So I'm changing him. I'm changing the old one, putting him down, taking him off that little cement thing, making him Smash Captain. We're going to repaint this one as the real Shrike. We're going to take our Librarian dude here, our Primaris Librarian, or whatever, he's a Librarian Phobos armor, but whatever. We're going to take that dude, and we're going to try to make him into a champion, like a Raven Guard champion, because I picture, Raven Guard very stealthy or whatever, like their champion would be cloaked like that, right? And then maybe somehow throw like on his back, maybe it would be a little while. I'll have to find a shield, put it on the back of his shield so he has a shield, but make him the champion that I wanted. That's what really sent me over to buy this box. I was like, what am I going to do with him? Because I really don't want the Librarian right now, maybe for another list. But I was like, why don't I just turn him into the champion? And then if I change my mind, if that doesn't work out as we're like messing around with these lists, bring him back as a Librarian, shadow step some people around, you know what I mean? That's, if you're not familiar, that's one of the disciplines that Raven Guard librarians have. Anyway, so we got our dudes here. We got we're gonna be building these reavers out. The list that I have now, we need some other things. We might not be running all 10 reavers for eventually, but at first probably just to fill some points when we're just messing around, but we'll see. Anyway, I want to open this box to show you how this thing comes. It comes like this. What I was really I just opened this up. I opened this up before I did the video just to see what it was like. A little disappointed in the fact that I got all your deals here. Oh, there's an extra one. Okay. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. So, Eliminators. All right, Eliminators. Strike again. Reavers. I'm just going through because one of the things everybody gets this box. One of the big selling points is the decals, right? It's kind of hard unless you get those little upgrade packets to get Raven Guard or other, or specifically Raven Guard. It's hard to get their decals. Some of the I've seen salamanders and stuff on other ones, but here you go. So you only get 3 of these things. Not the greatest thing in the world, but I guess it's better than nothing. And the major markers for company-wise, for the war suits, they're 3rd company. So I guess they that's all you got on this thing. But for the most part, so you'd have 15. You could do your 10 reavers and your eliminators, I guess. Yeah, so I mean that's cool, I guess. And then I guess you slap one on the librarian. So I guess it's enough, but it doesn't give you any extra if you needed it, right? That's what I was thinking. Like the rest of my guys, I wouldn't mind slapping on some of this instead of putting the old Legion number from 30K on there. But some vehicle transfers. So we'll get that going. The only thing else I'm debating on is when we do these eliminators is really, are we going to do last fusils or are we going to go bolt? I decided to refit one of the dudes, one of my eliminators that I already have made up with the ghillie suits into an instigator. So we're just going to carbine that bolt. That way they can fire and maneuver. So if you're not familiar with that currently, unless it changes, after a shooting phase, if your sergeant has one of those instigator carbines, or it's a bolt rifle or whatever, but I call it carbine, that's all I'm calling it. You can make a normal move after shooting. The bolt rifle itself gives you a little bit of interesting capabilities when it comes to basically, gives you additional like +1. I think it used to be +2 back in the day to hit. And ignores cover, I believe. But anyway, +1 hit, where the last fusel is kind of just like bam, but it is heavy duty. Last fusel like strength 8, -3 AP, damage 3, straight up. So I mean, I got some thinking to do because it depends on how the rest of my list kind of lays out when it comes to being able to take down big targets, and how I'm balancing out these units, whether it be for taking out troops or taking out targets, or we got to keep in mind that you got to score points too, so you got to have that. So we're probably going to run the reavers with that in mind. I know they have them on here with the combat knives. I kind of want to run them with the carbines that they have there, because they can come with the carbines. So they have the pistol and then they have the carbine, so you can drop them in somewhere and throw some shots off 24 inches. I think it's 24 inches, 18, 24 inches. Be able to throw some shots off, some serious firepower. Then you get in the melee with the pistol. The only thing the knife does really good is it gives you an additional attack when you go into melee. That would be cool. So I'm literally debating around in my head what I'm going to do with this. I've kind of, right now I'm on with the carbines, but you really got to balance out your list a little bit. I know these are very little things, nitpicky things, but I want to be balanced, especially when I go in there. I want to see how this list goes. So I don't want to go all in on a really, I don't know, heavy. Oh, here it has never mind. Sorry, it has a decal thing on there. Anyway, a really heavy vehicle bashing list or a really maneuverable list that's only going to be good with troops. I kind of want to see, I want, things to complement each other. I want things to overlap. So in a military context, when you're talking about having indirect fire assets where you're prepping the battlefield, you're actually firing ahead of your line. You have maneuver assets that are complementing each other. You have a main effort that's really what is pushing through, that's completing your mission, and supporting efforts that are aiding that main effort in whatever various ways in your scheme of maneuver, allowing the main effort to accomplish the mission. So you have these supporting roles that I want every aspect of this army to be in, or to complement each other. I don't want to just go super centric one way. And I think if we do this, if we mold this, like I said, this is a tactical channel, so we're going to be running scenarios or whatever, but we're building this list. But the list itself is going to be built like I would if I was putting together a unit of Marines or whatever, like an actual Marine Corps. I want I want this kind of asset. I want a heavy weapon team or whatever. I want my infantry dudes. I want break it up into main effort, supporting effort 1, supporting effort 2, my reserves, my QRFs. Whatever the case may be, I want to build it like that. So when these guys are moving around the board, there's always some there's always something that goes along with a plan. But okay, anyway, we got it. It's here. I'm gonna keep the video short. The artwork looks pretty cool on this. I wish they'd had like a book or something that would, like some paint, like a book with some paint schemes. They used to do that back in the day, or with just a book. It just had cool scenes, which I guess you can look in the back of this, but it'd be cool if they hit like a how-to thing or just like a little lore deal for the price of this deal, for how much you pay for this. But you're talking about 17 miniatures, 2 Invictor tactical war suits, a Cave and Strike, a Librarian, 10 Reavers, 3 Eliminators. Pretty strong. So we'll leave it there. Anyway, I'll talk to you later. I'll probably show you when some of these guys are more painted up, when we get the Interceptor and the Inceptors up, when we get that Assassin painted, and we'll start going into how these are going to complement each other. As long as 9th edition is around, we'll see. If 10th edition drops tonight or whatever, or soon, I guess we're going to have to work out something. We'll have to figure out how everything is operating still. But anyway, talk to you later. Peace.